Hi, my name is Lokesh Nandakumar Vanushali, and in the first tutorial we saw how FSM works, how the state transition function, machine function and state transition diagram works, and how we performed it and how we build it. Okay, so in this tutorial we'll study the different types of sum. We'll just go through them and then we will tackle one of the sums in it. Okay, so these are the four basic types of sums that we go through. First is the divisibility test that we did in the last tutorial. This time we are going to do the starts with, and there are two more, the ends with and the contains of substrings. So in the starts with, what we do is we accept only those strings which have particular substring at the start of that string. So let's go ahead and solve the problem. So we got our first problem here that has starts with statement, like to accept the strings that starts with 101. So we will accept only those strings that will start with 101 string. Okay, so now what we'll be thinking is, what will be the input of this? Like in this scenario, what will be the input? So what we'll do is we'll just see the string. It contains the digits 1, 0 and 1. It does not contain any other digits, right? So it has only 1 or 0. So we consider that the input will be either 1 or 0. Okay, so we'll write here in input section that input will be either 1 or it will be 0 or 1, whatever. Okay, so now we'll start filling the state transition function and machine function like earlier. So we will have our input as 0 and 1. Okay, so after that we will have to write the states. States will be, one state will be for the 0 input, one state will be for the 1 input. Like we used to write here, hint. Here we go when 0 comes, here we'll go when 1 comes. Now we have to go till 101, and we can't write 101 as next state because in FSM only one input is read at a time. So what we will do is we'll write next state as 10, which will be Q2, and then 101, which will be Q3. Now why did we do this? Because as I said before, that in FSM we only read one input at one time, so we don't know if 101 is coming or not. But we know that if is 1 coming, yes, then 0 will come, then 1 will come. Okay, now we know that 101 is coming. 101 completely it doesn't come, so we have to go step by step. We have to first take 1, then we have to read 0, then we have to read 1 again, then and only then we will be able to know that 101 is coming. Okay, so and in start with problem we also have one more state which we call as dead state. So Q4 will be dead state. Now what is the use of this dead state? We will come to know when we are solving the problem. Okay, so let's start solving the problem. So in here we write at the start we got 0, but we only accept those strings that starts with 101. So in the starting we need 1, right? So if 0 is coming in the start, we directly go to Q4, that is dead state. We don't want it. Now at start 1 comes, like there are possibilities that if in the start 1 comes, then our string can get accepted. So we'll go to the place where when 1 comes we go, that is Q1. So I write here Q1. Next at Q0, at the start there is 0, right? So we don't accept that because at the start there is 0. So after that, if 0 comes or 1 comes, it doesn't matter, we'll go to the dead state. So if the start is with 0, we'll go to dead state, Q4, Q4. Next, at the start if there is 1 and then 0 comes, then we get 1 and 0. So 1, 0 is a state, that is Q2, and the input can get accepted. So we are going to Q2. Now at the start there is 1 and another 1 comes, but we don't want at the start 1, 1. We want 1 and 0 at the start. So if at the start 1 is there and another 1 comes, then it becomes 1, 1, which we don't want. So we directly write here Q4. Okay. Next, at the start there is 1, 0 and again 0 comes. So we don't want that because we want 1, 0 and then 1, right? So at the start there is 1, 0 and then again 0 comes, then we directly go to Q4, that is the dead state. Then at the start if there is 1, 0 and another 1 comes, then our input is accepted, right? So we write here Q3 because there 101 is written, right? And after 101, like at the start 101 is there, then after that anything comes, like if 0 comes it doesn't matter, 1 comes it doesn't matter, we are going to accept that. So we write here Q3, Q3 because 101 is there at the start. Now let 0 come, 1 come, it doesn't matter, we are going to accept that string. Okay, and at the dead state we write Q4, Q4, like if you come, once you come to dead state, then either 0 comes or 1 comes, you will be in the dead state. Okay, and now the final state that we mark will be Q3, because there only the 101 is the starting string. So we mark Q3 as the final state. Okay, now as before, we will write down all these states and input in the machine function, that is Q0, Q1, Q2 and Q3, Q4. Okay, now output will be same as before, yes or no. Yes, the string is accepted, no, the string is not accepted. Input will write 0 and 1, and now we just have to write yes or those where there are Q3. So we have Q3 here, here and here, so we'll write yes, yes and yes. Other all places we have to write no, so no. No. So we have filled it. So this is the way we'll write the machine function. We'll just have to put in yes or those places where we find Q3, because Q3 is the final state. Q3 is the final state because it is the state where starting is with 101. The rest all state doesn't give that. And we made a dead state over here. This is a new thing. Dead state is like a trap state, in which where you go in and then you can't get out of it, because both the sides there is Q4. So once you get into Q4, you will be in the Q4. Let 1 come as the input or let 0 come as the input. So dead state is a kind of trap state which is not final. So it's not final, because of which the input, once we get into dead state, we can't accept that input, right? So dead state is a trap state which is non-final. Okay, so here we have Q4 as the dead state and Q3 as the final state. This is the machine function. Now we'll write a state transition table, state transition diagram. Now just like before, we will draw the states which will be from QS to Q4. So first QS, then Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. Then there are two inputs, 0 or 1. So QS being the start state, we have to give her that arrow, and Q3 being the final state, we have to double circle it. Now there are two inputs, 0 and 1. So from each state there will be two arrows that will be going outside. So let's start with QS. So from QS we have two arrows. One goes to Q4 when 0 is the input and it gives the answer as no, and one goes to Q1. One goes to Q1 with 1 as the input and answer as no, and from Q0 two arrows to Q4. One is 0/no and one is 1/no. From Q0 done, Q1 there will be two arrows. One will go to Q2 and one will go to Q4. So one is going to Q4 which says 1/no. We take 1 from here and /no from here, and one arrow that goes to Q2 says 0/no. Q2 from Q1 we go to Q2 when 0 is the input and no is the output. And from Q2 we have two arrows. One is Q4 and one is Q3. So one goes to Q4. One goes to Q4 which has 0 as the input and no as the output, and one goes to Q3 which has 1 as the input and yes as the output. And once you are in Q3, we have a self loop which will have both the values, like 0/yes, 1/yes. So we write here 0/yes, 1/yes. And in Q4 the same self loop, 0/no, 1/no. So this is how we draw the state transition diagram, in which all the states we write down and we map all the transitions on the arrows, and then we write the inputs and the outputs, so that we can go ahead and see if the number actually starts with 101 using this state transition diagram. So this is how we solve any problem that is based on starts with type problems. And if you have any doubts in starts with type problem or the earlier ones, the divisibility test problem, then feel free to comment down below. And if you think that this way of teaching is good and you're liking the videos, then go ahead and hit the like button. Also, you can subscribe for the upcoming videos and comment down with all the doubts. I would really like to solve them out in the coming tutorials. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye.